I want to be real with you this morning. I don't want to say anything. I am tired. I'm 26 years old and I am weary. A type of weariness that some will never know. Today, Tuesday morning, I woke up and I was scrolling through Facebook and I came across, I guess one of the first things I saw on my Facebook feed was a video. I knew before clicking on it that it was going to be a video of another black man being murdered. And I actually didn't watch it in that moment because I knew what it was, and I walked out into the living room and I remember saying to Forrest, hey, another sad thing has happened, and right away he already knew what I was probably talking about. And then shortly after, we watched the 10-minute video of George Floyd being murdered by a police officer who had his knee on George's neck after he was already detained and face down on the concrete. But this officer still decided to hold him down with his knee on his neck, and there were 4 other officers there who just watched this happen, and they didn't do anything, and they defended what he was doing, even as a crowd gathered around calling for them to stop and release George, and one of those people being an off-duty firefighter, explaining that they need to at least check his pulse, or at least, get off of his neck. And it was 10 minutes. And after the first few minutes, he stopped moving. Right before that, he called out, I can't breathe. And right after that, he started calling for his mother. She wasn't there, so it was some kind of instinct, knowing that he was dying. He called out for his mom. And after a few minutes, when he stopped moving, the crowd stayed there and continued telling the officer to get off of him, to let him go, to check his pulse, pointing out that he wasn't moving anymore, pointing out that he wasn't breathing, pointing out that he started bleeding from his nose, and nothing changed. The police officer stayed there on his neck, hands in his pocket, just casually kneeling. At first, I felt numb. This is one video of so many that I have seen of black men in particular being killed, but there's also videos of black women being killed by police officers and other people in the name of the law, and it kind of, after a while, you feel a little numb to it at first, and then after that, really hopeless. It's almost like each video I see gets a little more, whoever is killing the black person seems to become more open about it. Like, it's not like, oh, I feared for my life anymore. That kind of excuse. It seems like there's no excuse anymore even given. Like that officer on George's neck, he wasn't afraid. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. They outnumbered him. He was already detained. There was no reasoning behind it. It was just this blatant show of power. And if you think about Ahmaud Arbery, he was shot in daylight while he was jogging. Like, there was nothing. The people who killed him can't use the excuse that they felt threatened. He was just doing a normal thing that people do. He was jogging in the middle of the day. Like, so I think that the weariness, I feel, just kind of gets amplified each time. Like, nothing happened, nothing changed the other times. And even as the videos get worse, I mean, it's so normalized at this point. I think what's different about George's specific video is that there are so many people there. It was in the middle of the day. It was in the middle of the street. Like, again, everyone was there. And there was nothing could be mistaken. Like, you see everything that happened. And there's other videos of him even being detained and beat before then, not resisting arrest. Like, there's all the excuses that have been given in previous police brutality cases. Like, none of those can be said about this. And to hold someone, to have your knee on someone's neck for over 10 minutes, like, there's nothing that can justify that. I'm angry that it takes this much. That it's not enough that someone is abused. It's not enough that someone is treated differently. It's not enough. None of that's enough. It's not enough that hundreds of people are killed. But it has to take not just Ahmaud dying, not just Breonna Taylor dying, not just hundreds of other black people dying, but it had to take this man. But it has to take this man dying in this way, at this exact time when everyone is at home and watching on their screens. It's just infuriating that without black and brown people shouting and burning things down and crying and wailing and bleeding and dying, like no one's looking until it gets to this extreme, till it gets to the peak of weariness and turns into despair. It takes too much to be seen, and I think that just makes me furious. I think that the oppression that black Americans face go beyond us working within our own communities and us just fixing ourselves or it just being a black problem, because what we are facing is the oppression of white individuals, the oppression of a people and a system that was built by white people. And so I think it's ignorant to think that it is simply a black person. I think it's ignorant to think that it's the black community's job to try to fix something, try to fix the oppression that they are facing. I think it's up to white people to fix and work through the generations of oppression that have been put on black people. I think that when we cry out as black people, we're not fully heard. And I think that at this point, the only thing that would really make a difference is that if we have white allies crying out as well, as if their own children are being murdered, as if their own children are being shot in the street and with knees on their throat. I think that this needs to become everyone's problem. And I think about the future of this country and the future of the world and the importance of us leaving a legacy for the children that are growing up today. I think about my nephew DJ. He is 1 year old and he is my sister Tessa's first child. Many of you at Tabor Heights met DJ. He was at our Black Santa event and our children's play. Little tiny cute baby with curly hair. He's adorable and goofy and wild and full of joy and beautiful, and he is a black boy. And he has no idea how the world's going to see him. Yesterday, Tessa asked me, what if DJ has no future? And while this question might shock many mothers of white children, questions like these are very real for black and brown people. This is our reality. And while DJ is precious and a beautiful baby boy, and everyone who meets him right now sees that, I know it's just a matter of time before he is seen as a threat. It is simply a matter of time before DJ could be on the concrete like George Floyd because a white person thought he was threatening their lives by being black. But I'm always going to have to pray that DJ will not be another viral video of a black man being killed. I pray that DJ won't one day get shot while he's jogging because someone thinks he's a criminal. And I pray that he doesn't have to cry out for his mother with his last breath. But instead, I pray that he will continue to be at home safe in her arms. And I pray that my nephew doesn't become a murdered black man that people become outraged about and then forget about until the next black man is killed. And I will continue to wonder, when will my white brothers and sisters realize that this isn't our problem to solve? It's theirs.
Before you call the cops, I just want you to know the first thing that I did when I woke up this morning was yell at my alarm clock. My parents were raised in the South. I have to roll Tide or they'll disown me. They raised me in Las Vegas. That city still has my heart. I hate spiders. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not proud about it. I've done goat yoga. I'm really not proud about that. I can tell you every single word off the NWA Straight Outta Compton album. I can also sing you every single word from Oklahoma. Bananas are disgusting. I am a Christian. I spend almost every Sunday morning teaching kids in Sunday school. I am often asked if I am Muslim. I'm okay with that. I'm pretty much convinced if you met my mother, you'd automatically become a better person. My father is a veteran. He taught me how to say yes sir and yes ma'am to everyone that I meet. I don't hate our president. I pray for him. I love basketball and also hockey. This is my brother James. This is my brother Mike. This is my brother John. And this is my brother Rob. This is my niece Zoe. This is my nephew Justin. This is my niece Allie. This is my nephew Declan. This is my nephew Jordan. I've never been to jail. I've never owned a gun. I hate that anyone at all might possibly be afraid of me. I'd go around the world and back again if I knew that single act might make your day better. I'm a proud man. I'm a proud black man. Does any of this really matter? No. I just wanted you to get to know me better.